9 investigates North Carolina's dams in jeopardy. During Helene, we saw the Lake Lure Dam reach some critical levels, threatening to fail, and that would have left widespread devastation. Now, Channel 9 has learned that hundreds of dams across North Carolina are high risk and in poor condition. As Erica Jackson reports, this aging infrastructure needs some critical repairs.
So we've got pajama pants in here, we've got sweatpants.
Ashley Hannon has made it her mission to help her neighbors in one of the areas hit hardest by Hurricane Helene.
This is the worst thing we've ever had happen.
Hannon and her husband Joe are collecting food, clothing, and toiletries at his family's church. It's 1 mile from the Lake Lure Dam. These people say they relied on the dam to protect their homes during Hurricane Helene. But the town says more than 22 inches of rain fell onto the surrounding land over 4 days, trickling into Lake Lure, causing water to flow over the dam and catastrophic flooding below.
We've had the dam be at high waters before, and nobody knew really what was going on.
It's important to note the Lake Lure Dam did not fail. Crews lowered the water level by 4 feet ahead of Helene, but the town says the water still overtopped.
There's a lot of aging infrastructure.
UNC Charlotte engineering professor Dr. Glenn Moglin says that could have made the damage much worse.
One danger when your dam overtops is it can actually contribute to an actual failure depending upon the materials of the dams.
Records from the Department of Environmental Quality show the dam is high hazard and needed repairs when Hurricane Helene hit. Dams are classified as high, significant, or low hazard based on expected downstream damage if a dam were to fail. They're also assessed by the severity of safety deficiencies, either satisfactory, fair, poor, or unsatisfactory. North Carolina has more than 3,500 dams, and according to the National Inventory of Dams, more than 200 high-hazard dams are in poor or unsatisfactory condition. That's the most of any state in the U.S.
It's important that they go out there and they inspect all these dams that had high water level.
John Moyle is with the American Society of Civil Engineers. He says many aging dams don't meet current design requirements. North Carolina's average dam is 64 years old. Moyle warns a breach could lead to extensive loss of property or lives.
When we say a dam is a high hazard, that means one loss of life, all right? But when you have large water supply reservoirs, then you may have impacts that result in hundreds.
North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper requested federal funding earlier this month for Helene recovery. The State Department of Environmental Quality wants to use $420 million to repair high-hazard dams. Cooper's office plans to apply for another $11 million to strengthen North Carolina dams.
Anybody who owns a car knows that you don't have to necessarily change the oil at 5,000 miles, but if you want to see how far you can go with that, pretty soon you've got a car that doesn't work. And so aging infrastructure is the same thing.
Some days we'll come by and there'll be 5 or 6 cars out here.
Hannon says she's met dozens of people who lost everything. She and her neighbors want lawmakers to prioritize North Carolina's aging infrastructure. And she says they plan to start with local leaders.
Make sure that what we voted for, who's in office, that we're actually at the meetings, making sure that, okay, we know exactly what's going on.
In Lake Lure, Erica Jackson, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Now, we reached out to all 5 Lake Lure council members and locally based members of the North Carolina Agriculture, Energy, and Environment Committee for their thoughts about our report. We are still waiting for their responses.